Welcome to Fueling Your Legacy, hosted by Samuel Knickerbocker. Each week, we expose the faulty foundational mindsets of the past and rebuild a new, stronger foundation essential in creating your legacy. We've got a lot of work to do, so let's get started. Welcome back to Fuel Your Legacy. You are 1 week older and hopefully 1 week wiser. Just had a wonderful last week of episodes there talking about purpose and living your life on purpose, happiness advantage, and then Scott Wilhite sharing his mission and vision and where he's moving and how he's helping people really launch that into the future. This week's lineup, again, is equally impressive. We are going to be talking about how we can let our past actually enable us to become more and not define us or hold us back. So super, super important thing to really learn and get a hold of from a perspective of we all have stuff that have happened in our past. We all have things that we wish were different. We all have experiences that hurt us or are painful or whatever. We all have things that we could complain about, but learning how to take all of those things and make them a reason to win rather than a reason to, or an excuse to fail is really what we want to talk about today. How can we let our past actually enable us to move forward rather than hold us back? How can we embrace all the hard, the suck, the things that were not fun and have us move forward with them? So, and that's what we're focusing on today. And then for Wednesday, book review is going to be The Power by Rhonda Byrne. And then on Friday, again, I love when being out there, you find people who just jive with your message perfectly. And Laura Locke, she is actually she's from Estonia, but she's living in Great Britain right now. And her story is incredible. Like the things that she went through as a child, where she's at right now, and the journey to get there is incredible. My favorite part of that whole episode is the last question, and it is almost verbatim the reason why I started the Fuel Your Legacy podcast. So super excited for you to listen to that. Don't miss it for sure. There's going to be links on Facebook, Instagram, just like always for my guest podcast. I want to make sure people know about it so they can listen to it. So let's dive into how to let your past actually enable you to achieve greater things. So I've done a little bit of coaching with different people throughout the world, but definitely throughout America. And I've met them often on Instagram. And what I've been able to help them do and accomplish is really view their life from a new perspective that they didn't really understand before or think about. And that's what I love doing. That's what I would say I'm most passionate about, is helping people have a new view of life to the point where they've identified their true identity and they've gained the confidence to go create a meaningful legacy. So identify, confidence, create. And that is really what I'm trying to help people accomplish in an effort to move past all the hard things. Because the reality is everybody has hard things in their life. And anytime you think, oh, my life is the hardest, literally just go onto YouTube or anywhere and think people with hard lives. And then you can hear stories after story after story about people who had it worse than you. And then you can decide, okay, the reason for that is not to get in this like super depressing hellhole of a mindset. The purpose is, how do I create context and put my life in context of perception? Because how you experience life is completely your perception of what you're experiencing. And we went into a lot of detail with that a few weeks ago with Keith Crossley, but the main thing is how you're perceiving your experience defines, in a lot of cases, how you feel about it. Okay, and so gaining perspective, when you think your life is the worst life that's ever happened, gaining perspective can help you. Now, in an effort to gain perspective, not using anybody else's experience, but just use your own experience and gain perspective on what was going on, I have some exercises that I put people through. So if you are interested in kind of walking through this or getting some of the forms that I use to walk through this coaching process, please just reach out to me. Again, I'll give you my phone number. It's 385-263-7699. And you can just text Sam to that one, actually. Just text Sam to 385-263-7699. And then I will be able to get you those forms. But here's a process that I went through that I found the most success as I've coached other people and helped them go through different areas of their life. It's what has helped me and what I've seen help other people the most. So the first step is really take away all feeling out of the experience you need to write down. And if you're wondering, well, what experiences do I need to write down? You're not going to be able to probably go directly to the most painful experience in your life just by thinking about it. You're going to have to kind of whittle down into that the core of your issues and the core of your pain, because in a lot of cases your brain is actually wired to protect you from pain. And so as you start to kind of lean into the pain, as you start to let's dive into this, your brain doesn't want you to go there because it's painful. And so you have to be aware of that and push through the pain, push through the rejection of your mind saying, no, we're not going there, we're not going there. And an easy way to do that is to kind of take care of some of the surface troubles and then go one layer deeper, one layer deeper, one layer deeper. And this is an ongoing process. In my experience, I've been doing it for close to 10 to 12 years, and I still come up with things that from my past, I'm like, man, I really need to process through that, right? That's going to happen with, I believe, everybody. There's a point where it becomes a lot easier because your perception has actually changed from so much that it does retroactively apply to a lot of those memories. So when you're going through the process, it doesn't take quite as long and it's not quite as painful. But it is important to know that your brain is going to naturally resist from diving into the pain. Okay, so just disclaimer there, you got to push through the pain. You got to learn to really embrace the pain in that sense. Okay, so first thing is asking yourselves, okay, well, why do I take offense to whatever, right? So that's the first question. Why do I take offense to whatever you got offended about last time? So why do I take offense? And then just start analyzing that specific experience. Start by having one list that says what is factually true, what was factually said, not what did I feel like was said, what was implied. Don't say any of that. Just write down what factually happened. How were you sitting? How were they sitting? What engaged the conversation or the situation? Like what factually happened? You're driving down the road, somebody cut you off. Okay, so factually, you were driving down the road and a car moved in front of you. That's what factually happened. And nobody got hurt or hit or anything. So facts are nothing happened other than a car moved in front of you. Now, everything else after that is how you feel about that car. So you're going to write down all of the facts, have a list of all of the facts. Then you're going to write down a list of all of the feelings, all the stories you told yourself, and really get deep into it. Really allow yourself to just write all of the things that you think were terrible about that experience, all the things you hated, all the things that you wish would never happen again. Like, be descriptive. Use as many words or explicatives or whatever you want to use to really define how you felt about that experience. Okay? Once you're done with that, then ask, what might also be true? Okay? The reason that this question is so powerful is because it allows you to put yourself in a third-party situation observing this encounter or these facts. In fact, it allows you to put yourself in the situation of the person who did these heinous acts, right? No, it allows you to think, okay, well, what might also be true? What's the possibility? What's the realm of possibilities of why this guy cut me off? What's the most worst thing that could happen, and what's the most meaningful, altruistic reason why he needed to cut me off that time? Maybe he was in a lot of pain trying to get to the hospital. Maybe he was late for work. Maybe he was chasing or going to help somebody, right? There's a story. That's not really a story. It actually happened. I guess it's a story, but it actually happened. When my youngest sister was born, her name's Heidi. She's awesome. You should go follow her on Instagram. Amazing, incredible dancer who's going through some actual car troubles right now as far as gotten in an accident, and she's feeling a lot of pain from it, which is sad. Okay? But, so the story is, on her birthday, the day that she was born, my dad was working in Salt Lake City, and he was also the midwife, the one who was going to deliver my little sister. Well, he is in a little Geo Metro, and he's screaming home, like as fast as a Geo Metro can go, right? Like 80 miles an hour, I don't know. Speeding home, not stopping for anybody. Well, at the same time, if the story is correct as I remember it, any family members out there who know this story differently than me, please let me know. But as I remember it, there was somebody who was either like had robbed something or had caused trouble who was driving a similar car as him. So he's driving home, he's speeding home from Salt Lake all the way out to Grantsville. It's about a 30, 40-minute drive. And the police scanners pick up and like, oh, we see this car, he's driving super fast. So they're following him out there. This is a police chase, chasing this jail metro all the way into Grantsville. And my dad is not stopping. Well, he finally pulls up and there's a swarm of maybe 7 to 8 police, maybe 10 police cars swarm around him. He gets out and they basically find out that he is not the person that they were looking for. So most of them go home. And for the purposes of this story, that's where it's going to end because, one, I want to keep you on the edge of your seats, and we'll have to talk about that another time. It's a funny story. Point being, though, had all these people known the reason he was speeding home, it wouldn't have been like a police chase. It might have been a police escort, right? And still the police there, still everything happening. But the difference would have been, why were those police with him? Why were those police moving with him? And it would have been for the purpose of making sure he got there safely, but was still able to deliver my little sister. And so simply understanding the context of why something's happening is really valuable. The unfortunate, well, I don't know whether it's unfortunate or fortunate, part is we may not ever know exactly why those facts happened, but we can create in our mind a really good altruistic reason for those to happen. And we can learn to tell ourselves a story and brainwash ourselves so that we just assume that why stuff happens around us is for the best possible reason. It's for the best possible outcome. I was listening to this song yesterday. I think it's called Time Bomb. And in the song, there's one line, I think it's only said once or twice in the whole song, but it's, what if the worst thing that could happen happened and it was actually the best thing? Something to that effect. I forget exactly how it was said. But basically, what if the worst thing happens and it's the worst thing that could happen and it actually was the best thing? What experiences from your past are actually some of the best experiences for your future? Think about that, and then I'm going to go over these one last time just so we have a clear pathway for you guys to write this down and start working yourself through this meditation or process. So the first thing is to write down the facts of what actually happened. What are the facts? The second thing is to write down how you feel about those facts. What do they really incite in your feeling? All the good, bad, everything. And then next is going to be what might also be true. What other things could also be true about that situation that stimulated that situation? And then lastly, what are you grateful for? I'm confident that as you do this, you're going to be able to begin to rewire how you think about things in your life and end on a happier, more positive note, learning how to really process things and always use your experiences to launch yourself and enable you to become more successful moving forward. Super excited for that. And then lastly, if you want access to that, you can text my number, text Sam, S-A-M, to 385-263-7699, and we'll be able to give you access to some of the forms of how to do that and walk you through the coaching process with me. So with that being said, we'll catch you next time on Fuel Your Legacy. Thanks for joining us today. If what you heard resonated with you, please like, comment, and share on social media. Tag me so I can give you a shout out on the next episode. And thanks to all those who have left a review. It helps spread the message of what it really takes to build a legacy that lasts. Catch you next time on Fueling Your Legacy.